Burns now with a cross. This is Vernon! Vernon scores! Grimsby Town deserve utter delirium at Blundell Park! Charles Vernon! Delivered, block first, touchdown!
Penalty, great composure. Ryan Bumo, he doesn't miss, does he?
The customary short run up for Brian Mbumo. Stuttering run up, and here's the crossbar! Manchester United are out! Brian Mbumo has rattled the crossbar!
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Tonight featuring Swindon away and Nathan Arnold. Hi, welcome to this week's Three Fish on the Shirt. We've got a packed episode this week. I'm Dave Dixon. I will be your host this evening for this episode. And I've got with me Rossi. Hi, Rossi.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good. And Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good, mate.
Welcome back after your couple of weeks off.
Yeah. Party animal.
Yeah, it can't be helped. Thanks again to our sponsors, Winner Chicken Dinner, for their support with the podcast this season. As always, thank you to them. And if you don't already subscribe to the YouTube channel, please do. It helps us massively to keep the channel going and reach more fans. So thanks for that. Well, yesterday we went away to the leaders, Swindon Town, with not very high hopes. Personally, I had very not high hopes. How are you feeling ahead of the game, Steve?
Well, I predicted we're going to win 3-2. I was a bit optimistic on that one, I must admit.
So you were hopeful, or a hope rather than expectation?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But I still think we could get something there, to be honest, because we've got there's a good team in our team, if you know what I mean. We can play football, and I hate predicting against Town anyway. So
we just hadn't shown it in the last few weeks, though. Ross, what about yourself?
No.
Yeah, it's about the same. I was to lose, I think, 3-1 in the end. Swindon are very hard side to go to. 26 games there, lost 18 there. Not a very good record there, so I wasn't expecting much. And obviously we've had our keeper woes as well recently, with O'Donnell coming in, so I wasn't very up for it, should I say, this weekend. But yeah, I think we got what we deserved in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was a pretty terrible start, but we'll pick off the team lineups first. I think probably the most important thing about the lineup was young Tommy, 5 years old, my nephew's lad, going to his first game. Well done, Tommy! Give him a little shout out, and he got mentioned on the radio afterwards, which was nice. So we'll welcome Tommy to the Grimsby Town career as a fan. Well done, young lad.
Welcome, Tommy.
Yeah, and after that, Chori and Rose were probably the main changes. Casper was out as well, with O'Donnell's loan coming in. What were your thoughts behind that, Ross?
I mean, he's gone now, isn't he? He said goodbye on Twitter. I think it was today. Yeah, just one game from O'Donnell, and yeah. Casper apparently couldn't play because he's only played one league game, and you need to play a league minimum of 5 to be involved without any other. So obviously Pim suspended.
Yeah.
Horton was on loan. So that's the reason why we ended up getting O'Donnell in. Never heard of the rule, but yeah, someone told me yesterday that's why it is. And yeah, so I don't think he did a bad job yesterday. Apart from a few rusty bits. First goal especially, I think. But no, I think it did a shift in it for that game, and yeah, well done to him.
And Steve,
just going back on that then. Casper, he couldn't play at all yesterday. Then he couldn't come on as sub.
Well, apparently he could, but it's sort of because we only had Casper, we didn't have any other backup keeper,
right?
he couldn't sort of do with. We had to get someone in because he's not played that many league games or something like that. I don't understand it.
I wonder if it's a safeguarding thing or something. That's a weird one, that. Because my thinking was,
and I said to you,
why did we let Orton go and get Casper in if we were only going to sign another lone keeper if Pym was out injured or suspended? Doesn't make sense, does it?
No, I didn't get it. To me, it just sounds like they just didn't have any faith in Casper whatsoever. That's why they got someone in.
Yeah, which was my thinking. But yeah, really odd one, that. But anyway, we don't know the answer. We'll have to find out. Maybe we can.
I guess if they've decided to get him in, then just for they may as well play him. I guess just bags of experience. So
yeah, maybe so.
Play him. Yeah.
Anyway, Town got off to an awful start after 7 minutes. A long throw in, flicked on. Ollie Palmer got on the end of it, looping header into the far corner. Ball just bobbled into the net. Personally, thought that Avi Rogers could have done better, a bit stronger. And then I thought that O'Donnell looked like he'd reacted a bit late, and maybe he could have come and just cleaned everyone out. I don't know. Thoughts? Have you seen it, Ross, now? Because you hadn't seen it yesterday, had you, first off?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, throw-in come in. I thought he could have been defended from the throw-in anyway.
Yeah.
I think there was about 3 defenders around the ball, and it's still managed to get over Palmer anyway. I thought Rogers was weak. But Palmer didn't really have to do anything to get the header, to be honest. Rogers just kind of...
And it wasn't much of an header, really, was it? It was just divert. I mean, not fair play to the guy. Like you say, he didn't have to do much.
Glancing header and that's they got the goal, but I think it's like slow motion, the header.
Yeah, it was.
It looked like goalie was just stuck in mud and he couldn't get his feet sorted out to get over there.
Well, I couldn't believe it had gone in, Steve. What about you?
I couldn't believe it had gone in. I thought the keeper, my initial thought, he should have got it. He just seemed to be cross, but I still think he could have done better for it.
Well, I suppose he's either got to stay back and make the save, or he's got to come and clean everyone out, hasn't he? And maybe if you haven't played much, it's difficult, isn't it?
Like Rossi said, they should have dealt with the first header, really, and then Rogers just got muscled out of it, and the keeper should have done. So it was all 3 of them, really.
Yeah.
Should have done better.
And then you got a bit of a ping-pong down the left-hand side in 13 minutes. Ball comes across into the edge of the box, inside the box, and Odin side foots it in the top corner nonchalantly, unchallenged. Steve, you mentioned Greeny's challenge, or was it you, Ross, mentioned Greeny's challenge? One of you did. Greeny reaching for a challenge.
Mentioned it on my review. I don't know why, in my opinion, Greeny's gone for it when you've got Staunton literally stood in the right spot just to boot it out. I don't get. I'm guessing there's just no communication between them both.
And one other thing that I keep noticing about our defence is we chase back towards the goal line too far and leave men on the edge every week, and then when the ball breaks, it's just like like a shooting gallery. Steve?
Yeah, there was nobody picking that boat edge of the box at all. It was. I know they were inside the penalty box. They're all picking a man up.
Yeah,
but surely there should have been somebody just on the penalty spot.
But I think that's back to us over chasing again. We're just over chasing back.
Yeah. He took it well, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was a good finish, but he had all the time in the world.
ITV Football put a post out this morning classing it as a worldie.
Oh, worldie? I never scored that.
There was loads of Swindon fans. Loads of Swindon fans come on saying, "I'm a Swindon fan, and worldie, really decent finish." But so for the second visit to Swindon running, within the first sort of 10 minutes, we're 2-0 down. Or just over 10 minutes. It's a bit of a shocker, and I just thought my mood wasn't great, put it like that, and Twitter was probably a bit foul in terms of Town fans' demeanour. But on 22 minutes, Vernon gets down the left-hand side, puts in an absolutely fantastic cross. It's in the absolute danger zone, behind the defence, but too far away from the keeper. Nice and low, quick, and there he is, the man on the spot, Greeny, just to scuff it in. Really, he wasn't the greatest of strikes, but he was on the line pretty much.
Yeah.
Where he needed to be, and Greeny's game is that's another aspect he's brought to his game this season. Though.
Yeah, 100%. Right place, right time. I will say Vernon again, another assist on the board for him this season.
Yeah,
great ball. Even from the front post, let alone the back post where Greeny was anyway. But yeah, he took it well. Bit of a scuffy goal, but he'll take them all day.
I always remember seeing on Match of the Day, and I'm not a massive fan of the over-analysis of Match of the Day and what have you, but I remember seeing what Rooney used to do. Rooney used to also always be aiming to be in that spot, in that little sort of 6-yard box just behind the back of the defence, in that little corridor, relying on a really good player to stick it there for him. And that felt a little bit like Greeny's goal yesterday, Steve.
Yeah, he's improved no end, hasn't he? And he's scoring goals as well. Who would have thought that?
Yeah,
a season ago. Just come back. I like Vernon's cross rather than cutting inside, went left and crossed it with his left. Because he's been cutting inside and skying it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And I've been saying to you, he needs to go go left a bit and get a crossing with his left foot, and he did.
Yeah, until he can learn to keep his right foot shots down. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, he can, it's lethal cutting in, but when he goes left, he's just as good.
But he's been very, very consistent this season, hasn't he, Vernon, in doing that?
Yeah. He's been. Yeah, you can't grumble with him at all. He does cut in sometimes, and I think skies it, but yeah.
And just after that, we had a chance in from the right hand side. Burns got in the box, knocked the ball over the bar from an on-target range position, and I think he would have been disappointed with that. That was another opportunity. But on 41 minutes, we managed to get back on level terms. Bit of a scramble in the box. Looked like there could have been a shout for a penalty and a challenge right on the goal line nearly. Ball sprung out of there, right up to McEachran. Just firing up to shoot and got taken out by Kilkenny. Was it a pen for you guys? Definitely.
Yeah, I thought it was a pen. I can't really think a lot of people were grumbling from Swindon point or Grimsby to us.
Not heard.
Shouted it straight away.
Yeah, I've not heard many gripes about the fact that it was a pen. And the ever reliable from the penalty spot, Danny Rose stepped up and put it away. Nice to see us scoring a pen. I think it was only our third one we scored this season out of about 7. Nice way to finish the half, and actually we could have gone in 3-2. There was another effort just after that one that fizzed wide or just over the bar, I think, if I remember rightly. Oh, it was. And we could have had a penalty, couldn't we? That was the thing. There was a looked like handball just to the right of the goal. Have you seen that back, either of you? Have either of you seen that back?
No, but as soon as I saw it, I thought that looked a bit suspicious, and then they didn't show it back. I didn't see it back, but the player, you could just see the player's demeanour. He was proper sheepish. He was doing this. That was it. It was it. Like so.
I think Dave Artell's seen it. He seemed to think it was.
James McEwen, who was the co-commentator, was very good. I thought actually he said he saw it back and he said it was a penalty, definitely handball. Yeah,
he was doing my head in for the first 10 minutes, and I think it was nothing to do with him. I think it was just because I was arsey because we were 2-0 down.
He's all arsey. You're always arsey.
Oh, I'm terrible.
McEwen, he's giving some good insights on old Ollie, wasn't he?
Yes.
Holloway.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, darts. So 2-2 half time, and we looked the better side from really the quarter of an hour to half time. We looked the better team and could have been in front, which you wouldn't have counted on at 3:15, would you? So mood significantly increased after that. Second half. Town arguably the better side, but lived dangerously. Was my view. But I thought it was an entertaining game. What do you guys think? Steve first.
I thought it was a really good game, but it was one of them games you just thought we're going to chuck this away because they started getting chances. Palmer got a couple, he missed them, and I just thought we're going to. And then we seemed to back off a little bit, and I was thinking 2-2. I'm happy. I was happy.
There came a point where you go in, please 2-2 will do. Thanks. You'd have taken it probably at the start.
They were getting a few chances, and I was getting a bit nervous. So I was happy to draw it out in the end.
Jamie Walker came on. Rossi had a couple of good chances or good efforts. What did you make of his contribution once he came on?
Yeah, it's the same as Jamie, isn't it? Really, I'd rather him starting, to be honest, if it was me. But
yeah,
a few shots off, makes keeper parry and make some saves, and yeah, I thought we were lucky not to actually be conceding in that second half. There are quite a few efforts. I don't know. Ollie Palmer's missed one shot. He's 1-on-1. His guys it. But then O'Donnell made some good saves from range. I think it was Will Wright come on and had a thunderous effort, and he saved that. But I didn't understand Arteta in the way. It's like he didn't want to go out for the win in the end because he brings on an attacking sub in the 81st minute, and I think why have you not brought anyone on sooner who's more of an attacking threat? And but 81st minute he brings Cabia on.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not done it sooner. Try and get another goal, but
yeah.
I think he said in his interview he decided to stick, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I think
which is unlike him, but he's probably thinking top of the table. So that's Town lost, won, lost, drawn, lost, drawn. 1 win in 6, 5 points from the last 18. So I think it's like must do better from now on if we're going to kick on for the season. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to pick up some wins, especially this Thursday.
Yeah,
I think we're going to start going down the pack if we don't pick up wins.
Yeah, we've got to send Crazy Dave, Tranmere fan home, unhappy, haven't we? Unfortunately, sorry, Dave. Has he been in touch, Ross?
He's always in touch, is Dave.
Yeah,
he's always on TikTok or personal message. Now he's buzzing for it. And fair, so am I. I'm actually looking forward to the game just to meet him again. Met him last year on a Tuesday night. This time it's Thursday night. We'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to the game. Obviously, meeting up Pip's Chips beforehand as well.
Who Chip news this week? Tell us about Pip's Chips news this week's episode, Ross. What's happened at Pip's Chips?
Yeah, Pip's Chips. I got a random message from Pip last week
of Pip's Chips
on TikTok, and I thought, on TikTok, and I thought, oh God, she's not going to complain about anything. Is she? Anything to do with the pod or that? Anyway, it come up, and I forgot to tell you, by the way, I've got your profile picture from your TikTok, and it's on our 3D fan inside the chippy behind the counter. Usually, I think it's a Grimsby badge or something else. I can never remember. I think it changes, but at the moment, apparently my badge is on it. So
is that the one with the badge we used stood in front of your Pip's Chips?
That's the one, yeah.
Oh,
that
good,
one.
Oh. Do I get repeat fees for it being shown? Designer fees?
I don't know, you'd have to ask Pip when you.
Oh yeah, nothing to do with me. So yeah, that's a nice little accolade for you. So interestingly, yesterday Tranmere threw away a 2-0 lead at home to Milton Keynes Dons. The opposite of what we did yesterday, and the same as what Swindon did yesterday. So we're expecting to bump into Crazy Dave on Thursday. Bit of an odd night for football. Never really a massive fan of Thursdays, but it's here. I'm off work, so that works a little bit. But as we said earlier, we need a win badly to get back on track, really, don't we? The league's tight, still tight. We need to get back on it. Thursday's the time to do it.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely need to get this win. I feel like if we don't, the pack will soon start moving, and we'll end up chasing after. I think we're 6 points off top. I think I might be wrong. Well, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think we're still 1 point off playoff. I think it is still tight. Don't get me wrong, but I think if we don't win, and if we just keep drawing games, etc., it's not going to get much easier for us. We'd rather be in a comfortable position rather than a what if position. Pim, I believe, is back on Thursday night as well. I think it's only a 1 match suspension. It must be because O'Donnell's gone back.
Yeah.
So Pim's back, which is a good thing, I guess. Depends on how he's going to play. After his last performances, but it's definitely a bonus to having him back.
Actually, in fairness to him, the last game wasn't a bad game for him. It was the game before, wasn't it? And I think ultimately, listening back to our feed last week, we really had Janet on the hook for that goal, really, didn't we? For the sending off, rather, should I say?
Yeah, I think it was definitely down to McJanet.
Yeah, he either thought it was a lot shorter or a lot longer.
There were a lot of Grimsby fans. Yeah, a lot of Grimsby fans were moaning about Pim. They was putting TikToks on TikTok about Pim, saying, slating him like mad. And, I had to go into a few of them and comment on a few of them, saying, I don't know why you're slating him because it wasn't his fault. McJanet literally just, hung him out to dry and couldn't do anything about it. He's had to do what he's had to do.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I hadn't actually thought about it in this way, but you almost wonder whether it'd be as well to have stood his ground and conceded, and at least would have had 11 on the pitch and been 1-0 down, which would have been better than 10 minutes later being 1-0 down anyway.
Yeah, and it's all quick decisions, though, isn't it? Or making
but I genuinely think he went for the ball and just badly timed it.
Yeah,
it's kind of
I think he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
McJanet should have cleared it.
Yeah,
so ridiculous. Yeah, it's another error.
So Pim coming back's a pretty clear change. Any other changes you'd make if it was you? What would your lineup be?
McEachran's banned, isn't he?
Yeah, yellow card number 5 yesterday, late on. So he's out.
He won't be playing, so it'll be, I would say, Walker's got to play, hasn't he? I think he's got to put Walker in.
I'd like to see Walker
he should have
playing
played
at home. I'd like to see Walker playing at home. You with that? Are you on board with that, Ross?
Walker playing any game.
I'd love him to start. I don't know what Artel's going to do. He's gone back to a 4-1-4-1 at Swindon. Obviously, 2 weeks before that, we're playing, like a 3-1-4-2 or 3-5-2, depends which way you look at it. Why he's changed it back, I don't know. Whether that's just because of injuries and we haven't got certain players that he wanted to put in. I'm not too sure. But
do you think it's opponents
I'd still
as well?
like to see it. Maybe, but I don't think you can keep switching and changing it. It doesn't. You change it, they have to get used to another different tactic, different formation, get to used to where they need to be on the pitch, and then you change it back to the other one. It's if anything, in my language, it's a head fuck for players, and they don't really need that. And I do think, like I say, it should be 2 up top for the foreseeable future, in my opinion.
Or a head quack, as it may appear on the podcast.
Yeah,
I think he started changing the team for the opposition a bit, and I didn't agree with that. I think you've got to stick with your best team and then just go with it. And Walker is one of the best players we've got, so I think he'll start.
I think that's true. So Tranmere, on a bit of decent run of form, and then they've sort of backed off a bit. They've gone down the route that we went down a couple of seasons ago, and they're doing what they did last season. They haven't lost any more than we have, but they've just drawn 3 more than we have. So they're it's amazing how draws hold you back, which is why the draws and defeats we've had in the last few games have really kind of dropped us down. But the good news is the title race, the top of the table is pretty tight. So there's a couple of wins and you can be straight back up there. But we've got to start. It's
I think it's massive game. We need to beat, like Rossi said, we've got to beat them to keep in the top 7.
It is a big one.
If we lose, like Tranmere, they're 20 points, and we're on 26. They'll be 3. If they win,
and
we're in the mid-table scenario.
So Rose or Cabia then?
If it had to be one striker up top, I think it's got to be Rose because of the way he's playing at the minute.
Yeah. I'd go Rose.
Would you have Rose and Cabia by choice?
If it was up to me, no.
What would you do?
I'd have Rose and Susan Bell up top.
Right. Good shout for the young lad.
Mm.
Steve, what about you?
I'd have Rose and Kate. No, I'd have Rose and KB up front.
I think Rose has got, as Rose slows down, KB's got the opportunity to feed off him because he's good at getting to the ball, isn't he, and feeding on the ball. And what we need is somebody to release KB, don't we? Greeny or someone like that to get him moving, or Danny Rose.
The thing is, at the minute, it's nearly impossible to name what team he's going to put out.
Yeah,
because of the formations, and I don't know. I don't know if Walker's going to play, Curry's playing. I couldn't. I'd struggle to name Van Thorsen. Where has he come?
Yeah,
is he injured or?
Well, he's just not played many games, has he? But this is the challenge of having a fully fit squad, isn't it? It's the opposite problem last year. Who do you get in? How do you keep everybody happy? And I guess there's a remit that says you got to be ready when you're ready. When we need you, you got to be ready. Anyway,
that's what he wants. That's what he wants. He wants everybody ready to play, which is fair enough.
The only other option I'd probably say, other than Sunset Bell or Cable up top, is maybe put a Maluser up top with Rose. He's got the strength. He's got the pace.
You said that before, haven't you?
I have, and I think he'd shift up top.
Yeah, and he must be chomping at the bit. I have to say. So, as of Thursday, we'll be taking on the might of the Super White Army, Tranmere Rovers, as they refer to themselves. Interesting Grimsby Town sort of quirk about Crazy Tranmere Dave. What's his full name?
David Moore.
David
Funny
Moore.
enough, it's Dave Moore.
Dave Moore.
David Moore, does he wear shorts?
No.
He always wears shorts. And I'll tell you what, he'll come on Thursday and he'll have a t-shirt and shorts on. I'm not even joking.
All right, I thought you were joking. So he's like the other. It is to do with the name, then, isn't it? Dave Moore.
It must be, yeah.
Anyway, we had a bit of banter with him online last night. He posted his little chant about we're going to Grimsby. Come on, let's do them and all that. So, will you be ready to run into the three fish? So bring it on, Dave. We're waiting. Anyway, League Two roundup then. Kick off with the yesterday's fixtures. Gillingham 1, Barnet 1. I know we don't like him, but Bradley Dack, take a bow. Bit of a special goal.
Yeah,
quality free kick, wasn't it? Yeah.
Absolute humdinger. Harrogate 0, Walsall 2. Everybody can win there except us. Ross.
That guy goes off.
Sorry, say again, Steve.
Oh, no, that's another game. Sorry.
Oh.
No, it's all right. It was a sending on. It won that game. That was
the one thing that we featured recently, which Ross pointed out yesterday for having watched that game, is that somebody got twatted in the face during the game with the ball. Unfortunately, we couldn't find footage of it. So
couldn't find it. All I saw was the shot went wayward, and all of a sudden, this massive gush of water or liquid, I guess it was a beer or something, just went flying.
Well, it shouldn't have been a beer inside the ground.
Oh, you wouldn't have thought so, but it's arrogant, isn't it? Yeah. Levi Sutton had the shot, and it flew, but I can't find a clip anywhere of it.
Me too. Neither.
I did watch that game though. It was it was entertaining.
Barrow capitulated to the solidness of the Cambridge United outfit of late. 2-0 at home. So another team that's gone to Barrow and won. Sorry, Steve.
And Panzu got 2 for them.
Yeah.
Both goals.
Yeah,
for Cambridge.
He's on loan from Arsenal or something like that. Premier League side. Can't remember.
Don't think so.
No,
don't think so.
Maybe mixed up with somebody else. Bromley got their 2 goals at home, as they do every week.
2 goals, yeah.
So you've got to score 3 to beat Bromley at home or draw with them. And that's they scored 2 in every home game except for Tranmere, which they drew 3-3. So you really have got to do a massive job on Bromley away.
They're up to third in the table.
Up to third, they're doing well.
Yep. Cheltenham 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Robins are flying under Steve Cotterill. The opposite can be said though for Bristol Rovers. 7 defeats in a row in the league. That's
unbelievable, isn't it?
That's horrific, isn't it? And they were jeered off to what a load of rubbish at the end of the game yesterday. I don't know if you managed to see that.
Darryl Clark's their manager, isn't he? Now,
how long for? Ross has already got one scalp last week or a week before he mentioned the Newport manager and said, how long has he got? And lo and behold, they've now got a new manager.
They've got a new manager.
We'll come to him when we get to their game. Crawley
I'll put Darryl Clark as next.
Yeah, all right then. You play the next one. Crawley 1, Accrington 1. Early goal from Accrington Stanley's Heath, who was on loan from Everton, under 21. And Tishmanga, the equaliser. I don't think so. Something about me told me that he wasn't.
A very good player, by the way, Tishmanga.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't
he? He always seems to be able to find the net. Thankfully, not against us this season, which was early on, but there's still another game to go, isn't there, of course? Two games, half each for Crewe and Chesterfield. Crewe won the first half 2-1 and lost the second half 2-1. Sorry, other way around. Chesterfield won the first half 2-1, lost the second half 2-1. So that ended up 3-3. Markanday got a goal. It's a very small man.
I saw your tweet.
So Chesterfield's struggling to get the wins, other than the one that jammed against us last week. And apparently, we're a right bunch of sour grapes losers, me and you, Rossi, after last week. Some of the comments.
I've heard, yeah. I
said two right.
I did my review and I did my... on TikTok. I mean, the reviews was great because Chesterfield fans are buzzing about it. Yeah. So thanks to the Chesterfield fans. I think it was that 3,000 views you got my review. So.
Bloody hell.
Excellent. Yeah, we got quite a few comments on last week's, which was good. Fleetwood 3, Shrewsbury 1. So a routine win for Fleetwood over Shrewsbury, who seem to continually struggle. Interesting point of note there is that Cabia scored for Shrewsbury, but not that one. I don't think it's his brother. Notts County.
Hayden scored for Fleetwood.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Notts County 1, Colchester 3. Notts very hot and cold, so they let Colchester score all 4 yesterday. I noticed own goal from them for their goal, and then
strange team, Notts County.
Well, Colchester are as well, aren't they? Because they struggle one week and then blow teams away the next. Very, very strange team.
I think it's Embick. Their striker Embick, the 18-year-old.
Yeah, he scored against us, didn't he?
He scored, didn't he?
After kicking Warren in the head. Never mind. Not bitter. Not bitter. Sour grapes fan me. Will never be accused of it. Oldham 3, Newport 0. Newport are an absolute shambles. New manager, Sebastian Fuchs, who was formerly... Or is it Christian Fuchs? I'm mixing up with an author.
Christian Fuchs, not Sebastian.
Sebastian Fuchs is an author. Christian Fuchs, ex-Premier League title winner with Leicester, and he's been in the USA with Dean Smith of late. Couldn't do much to help them out because they were shambolic, and bloody Jordan Wright in goal looks dreadful. It really does.
Yeah, not great, is it?
No.
It's a hard job to come into, I think, that one.
Absolutely, and I think they're looking pretty doomed at the minute. Our game, obviously, 2-2. Swindon throwing away a 2-goal lead, but really didn't feel like that because they probably didn't deserve to be 2-0 up even by their own admission. I think even Holloway said if at half time he could have got to his car, he'd have gone home. He was bored. I don't think it was that one.
He was in the stand, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got too many yellow cards or something. Surprise.
And he said he was disgusted with the first half. Do you see what he said? If I could have got to my car, I would have got in it and gone home.
Yeah.
And I put a comment, I'd run away again.
Yeah, run away. We've heard it all before. And as we mentioned earlier, Tranmere raced into an early 2-0 lead, only to be pegged back in the last half hour by MK Dons, who now face the Mariners on Thursday, which we've just talked about.
That was sending off I was on about Lecco.
Oh yes,
for MK
yes,
Dons.
I did see that. Yeah,
he ran straight into the.
It was just a massive charge, wasn't it? Charge.
Yeah, I thought it was Ash, and then I looked at it again, and I thought, oh no, he did charge him.
It was just a ball slam,
charge him down.
If he'd have stopped and sort of sidestepped it and just clipped him, he might have got away with it. But he just kept going.
Yeah, from the kickoff, wasn't it?
Just slammed straight into him, didn't he? So,
I'm surprised he's actually still going. Is that injury prone?
Is he?
Yeah, who's that?
Lecco, yeah, he's always injured for MK.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's even playing.
So looking at the table after yesterday's game, we've got Walsall. All teams have played 17, so it's Walsall on 32, Swindon on 31, Bromley on 30, occupying the top 3 spaces. The playoff place is occupied by MK Dons 29, Notts County on 28, Chesterfield on 28, and Gillingham on 27. And then it's Crewe 27, us 26, Cambridge 26, Fleetwood 26, and then 24 bar the rest, so bottom half. So we're 2 points away from the bottom half and 4 points from automatic. So by no means a lot in that. And like I say, a couple of games and that all changes again. Or we end up in the bottom half. We could be in the top 3 or the bottom half in the next week or two. Let's hope it's
win Thursday night, we go 5th. So because nobody else is playing. So
yeah, and then we've got 9 days to the cup match. Then haven't we? We've got a bit of a rest. Then is a rest a good thing or a bad thing? It's
massive game Thursday.
It's a bit of a one of those crucial ones to get back on track. And
I mean, it's not must win, but if we do, we win. That's a win in the draw in the week, and then we're back in there.
Yeah, you want to start getting a run together again, don't you? Because that form that we've got at the minute, that's 5 points in 6 matches. That's 8 from 18 points. Just ain't good enough for going up, is it?
No.
Our predictor predicts 70 points at the minute for us. That's possibly good enough for a playoff place, but only just. Yeah,
we just need to get a settled team a bit.
Yeah. And
we just need to cut the mistakes out, and it's just mistakes. Even Artel come out of it in the press conference before Swindon said that it's what's costing us at the minute, and we cut them out and we'll be all right. But
play brilliant,
just doing it
and make individual mistakes that lead to goals. Well, we've scored 31 goals. Still,
I think we need Doug Town back.
We're still joint second top scorers in the league with Chesterfield, and MK Dons are top with 33. But we're also conceded 23, which is quite a lot as well. So we're fairly open. Good entertaining football at Grimsby.
Get Doug Town back in the back and we'll be all right.
Yeah, I do like Doug Town. I think he'll be...
Get a bit settled in the back 4.
Do we know how far away he is?
Not long, apparently, from what I've heard.
He can't be that long, can he?
No.
Who's he replaced, though, if he goes in?
Warren.
I reckon.
Yeah. Warren's got a mistake in him.
So's McJanet in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, the McJanet mistake.
Having said that, I wrote down in my notes, I thought McJanet was noticeably absent from my... Oh my God, what's McJanet doing? After weeks and weeks of not noticing him, the last 2 or 3 weeks thinking, this isn't him. It was back a bit more to him yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, you got to go a bad period, haven't you? And hopefully he'll come back to where he was. So.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'd love it if Warren just went right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder again, another thing, it makes you wonder why we signed Eccleston.
Yeah, no. He's just not getting involved, is he?
Got like the likes of Henry Brown and players like that you don't see now. He's injured, I guess.
Henry Brown's injured, yeah.
I made a list. There was a list the other day of players injured, and there was, they're all good players. About 8 of them that are not in the team, or not injured, but just not in the squad. Yeah,
but say difficulty, opposite problem of another time. We've gone for a bulked out squad with better players, and like I say, it's not easy to keep.
How many loan players have we got at the minute? How many loan players have we got?
Eccleston.
Yeah. Got 2, haven't we? No, 3. Eccleston, Casper, and Adore.
Yeah. Adore, yeah. So just the 3.
I forgot about Adore. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not playing.
We signed him a minute earlier. I'd remembered him.
Last season we were playing our loan players, weren't we?
We're having to.
Having to.
And that was part of the problem, wasn't it?
We're not.
But this year
he's definitely limiting his loan players.
Yeah, but we've got players that can come in and give it and do all right. There's not been any of them players who've come in and gone, oh my God, what's this crap?
No. Yes. Yeah.
And Adore, I mean, Rossi pointed out last time, and I'd not noticed it in general play, but them little balls he slots through with channels, pretty good. And we talked about it last night. Last time after the Chesterfield game.
From what I've seen, Adore in like a centre mid role rather than a winger role. He's played a few times in that centre mid, and he's one of them players that's very nippy on the ball, very tricky, and then he can play them balls through. And I think that's probably maybe one of his better positions. On the wing, I feel like he's very isolated. Don't really get much of the ball.
I think that's one of the things Bradford fans
makes one ball, and that's about it.
One of the things Bradford fans said about him though was it was always hard to find his best position, and I guess that's probably been some of his challenge sometimes. So, going off the bottom half then, Newport on the very bottom, as we've talked about, they are in the proverbial cart with 11 points from 17 matches. Above them, Harrogate, got beat yesterday by Walsall. Then Shrewsbury, who we've again noted are regular losers week on week, 16 points. Cheltenham on 17, Bristol Rovers on 17, off the back of their seven defeats, as we've talked about, and then Crawley on 17, Accrington 18, Barrow 19, and then the sort of bottom of the top of the bottom half, bottom third, Tranmere on 20. But as you say, Steve, 23. If Tranmere beat us on Thursday, that was still on 23. They're only 3 points behind us, and the whole league then starts to tighten up, doesn't it? If we're not careful. Momentum, I think, is the word.
Yeah, we need some. Definitely need some.
Consistent.
So, what's the crowd going to be like on a Thursday night? What do we think? It's on telly Thursday night. The weather's going to be probably chilly.
6,000.
You think as many as that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Not so sure.
I think that our following won't be that bad. I don't think. I think it'd be, like I say, maybe 5.5, 6. Tranmere, I don't actually know how many's sold. Not sure. From what I've heard, I mean, Dave's went and bought a ticket really, really, really late. Because I said to him the other week, he said, "Have you got a ticket?" He went, "Nah, not got it yet." Well, you're not thinking of getting it, because you might not be able to get one. People will be travelling on a Thursday night, and he just picked it up like it was nothing. So maybe there isn't that many coming, but
TV.
It's a shame because I think
TV helps the away games, doesn't it?
If it was weekend. Yeah.
So it's easy to go Thursday night, cold, Grimsby, good trek. Let's watch on telly. And the disappointing thing for me is, I hope, or it will be if it's a low crowd, is how many home fans do that when they've got season tickets. Much as though that's what I felt like doing against Chesterfield, having recovered from a fortnight's worth of flu, but that's another matter. And there's always reasons, but yeah, I hope people turn out and get behind the lads, because
I think they will. Yeah, 6,000, I think.
Optimism.
Keeping you up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was busy week. So I've got Friday night. I was up at like 2 a.m. for a flight out of Zurich at 3. So.
Oh yeah.
So then last night I was wide awake and buzzing, and then suddenly fast asleep. So yeah, it was interesting. So what are your thoughts on Thursday then? Are we going to go predictions now, or do you want to do predictions on the night?
Not really thought about it yet, to be fair.
Because just while you're thinking about it, I'll give you a second just to. We've out of 9 predictions between us over the 3 games we've been doing it. The Predictor League looks like this. It's me and Ross joint top on 1 correct, 1 bang on selection, and they're both 2-2 draws. Ross got the Barrow one, I got the yesterday one, and the rest of our predictions we've all been wrong, including all of yours, Steve. Sorry. So we need some points from you, Steve, to be on that board for Thursday. So. What were your thoughts for Thursday? Let's do it now.
5-4 Town.
5-4 to Town?
No, joking. I've just said 2-1 Town.
2-1 Town. Just Steve, I'll put these down now. Steve, 2-1 Town. Ross.
Oh God. I think both teams will score. I don't know if to go for a 1-1 or a 2-1. So I'll put my neck on the line. I've gone for 2 draws last 2 weeks, so I'm going to 2-1 as well.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go. I'll stick my neck out even further and I'll go 3-1. Just to be different and even more optimistic. Yeah. I'll feed them. I could have made it really boring and gone for 2-1, couldn't I? That would have been.
First goal scorer for an extra point. Should we go for first goal scorer?
First goal scorer. Who's going to be in the team?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It changes every week, doesn't it?
Might be a Tranmere player. I know. First time.
Well, you can do. You give me that on the night then, if you want to. If you want to do that, give me it on the night when we know who's playing.
Yeah.
And after the match, we'll all go, "Oh, I forgot about that." So
can't go Walker, can you?
So that's the predictor, Dave. I'll put myself at the top of the table on alphabetical order, Ross, and the fact that I've compiled the table, just like extra, like goal difference. When you do it, you can put yourself top when we're drawing. So yeah, we need to get better at our predictions. Hopefully on Town wins. Any other business from this week?
Dave.
What? Are frozen.
Get your. Can you get your connection sorted?
Oh dear.
What's that?
I'm back.
I've got my microphone's working.
You've already said it'll be 2-1. No, I ain't got any other business, I don't think.
Turn your cameras off.
Huh?
Steve, just turn your camera off.
No?
No, it's still on.
Oh, yours both went off.
This is John Sander. You're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
After that short jingle and a bit of a shuffle around, we're back with Mariner's favourite, Nathan Arnold. Welcome back after that short break. We've got a very special guest with us this evening. It's Grimsby legend Nathan Arnold. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you.
Town fans have got very fond memories of your activities in a black and white shirt, particularly if any care to remember, not least at Wembley, Forest Green, all the 6 years of her in the National League brought to an end, and your goal took the lid off the pressure cooker that had been those 6 years and that season. How did it feel? Let's start there.
Yeah, I get asked a lot with that question, and it's really hard to describe in that moment. I think relief, joy, and obviously prior to coming to Grimsby, I understood what I was kind of walking into in terms of them falling out of the Football League, and then obviously how desperate as a football club we were to get promoted. So I think a lot of it came from the year before when we missed out on penalties, and all that kind of pent-up emotion just was released in that moment when I scored.
Yeah, I think Ross wants to know something about that goal as well, don't you, Ross?
Yeah, that obviously you got the other goal that we needed to cement the win. What I want to know is, how did you have that composure to get the ball instead of just shooting straight away? You've gone to a touch, gone round the keeper, and not just thought in my head, I'm just going to smash this. Did you just have was there any nerves there, or did you just thought, I'll try and think of something?
Well, I just remember he was quite a big goalkeeper, Steve. So I thought, once that shot kind of ricocheted in my path, I could see that the goalkeeper anticipated me hitting it first time. So he's almost on his way down. And I did catch that. And just managed to stay composed in that moment, take a touch. And I knew if I took a big enough touch to my right, it opens half the goal up. And fortunately for me, he couldn't get down to it. Like you say, that cemented the win.
An easy finish from there. Yeah, and like I say, yeah, you run to the corner, and I just got memories of you seated in that corner looking up, and more than half of Grimsby sat in Wembley or stood in Wembley by that point, just leaping about, knowing it was all over, and was a great place to start today's session. Let's rewind a bit back to your early years. You started off at Mansfield. You're a Mansfield lad. You broke through at Mansfield. You broke through pretty young, didn't you? There and got a good start to your career at Mansfield. What was that like? 100 odd games, I think.
Yeah. So I actually, ironically, went back to Mansfield yesterday, and I watched them against Huddersfield. But it's quite strange because I've not been back. And I was only speaking to some of the Mansfield supporters. Some of those, that could remember me from my days at Mansfield or the go. And it was interesting because, as a 5-6-year-old, my uncle used to pass me over the turnstiles. And that was when I first really for football. And, used to take me, especially on a night game under the lights. Yeah. It was pretty special. So to kind of one of those full circle moments and then go back yesterday after all those years, it's just brought back lots of memories. But yeah, I got spotted in the street when I was around. I was just knocking a ball against the wall. And there's a guy in the community at the time who was, his role was to look at local talent and kind of draft them in. Against the wall, and he stopped me, and the rest is history. Invited me in for a trial, and I spent the next 11 years at Mansfield Town, which was 10, and it was incredible for me to be able to sign professional forms for a club that was my local team, and know that I did a lot of my family proud when I finally signed those professional contracts. But I remember at the time when I was breaking into the first team, they were suffering quite a lot, and they actually got relegated league, and they had a change of ownership. They had quite a few turnover in managers, and so I would say kind of that was my introduction into men's football, and it was quite challenging. We had a lot of adversity, but I was really proud to obviously put on the shirt and to try and help them get back into the football league. But I left at 21, and that was kind of my 11 years stint over. Yeah,
and I remember you do like a good goal on telly. I've found a clip of a Mansfield free kick that you stuck in the right hand side of the goal, round the wall. I think you'd been out for a period, and you come back into the team and cemented your place again with a cracking goal like that. You then went on to Cambridge, and you were there a while, but you kind of sort of fell out of favour with the manager, I think, from memory there, and you was a bit stunted your time at Cambridge. What was that like?
When I look back at my time at Cambridge, it's very mixed, because I went to Cambridge, I got signed, and I signed a 2-year contract, and I moved down there, and I was living in a little place called Lamb Beach, and I was house sharing with 5 other guys, and Richard Money at the time had been recruitment process, and it was almost a brand new squad, and I remember signing. It kind of was like a blank canvas for all these players joining Cambridge at the time, and you could see the ambition behind them, and they really wanted to set their sights on promotion, and they club, and an ambitious one as well. So mixed in terms of, I love my time at Cambridge. I love living down there. I had some really great memories in terms of what we achieved that season. But obviously from a personal aspect, I played right wing and had another player, a good friend of mine, Liam Hughes, actually, who, he's 6 foot plus, and Richard Money always used to like to get the goalkeeper to kick it on the angle to the wing to win the flick on and kind of then gain territory. And that was kind of the way that we played, and was incredibly effective at that. And I think that's when I started to kind of lose my place in the team, because the way in which we set up, and I played my fair share of games, but I was very in and out, and I couldn't find any rhythm really. And everybody, it was a squad that season. I don't think it was a consistent 11, but we had a very, very strong squad. So as a player, I think if you were a part of promotion, I think we did the double that year. We FA trophy. We won the
stranger
trophy
to Wembley
final, and then trophy final, and then we won in the playoffs. But I think as a player, whether you are playing or not, as much as there's that personal disappointment, I think when you put the team first and you're a part of that, and you get a medal at the end of the season around your neck, I think you have to understand that it's bigger than just any individual. But going back to the FA Trophy, we actually played Grimsby, I remember, at Blundell Park in the semis, I believe.
Right. We've forgotten about that. We've erased that from our memories. I noticed in the final though, against Gateshead, you played Gateshead, who had Carl Magnay, future of this parish at the time, and John Oster, who was a past star of and big money, probably one of our biggest money signings away when he went to Everton. I noticed that surprised me a little bit that those two have been in the same side. But so you've been known stranger to Wembley. And it was coming out of Cambridge that you came to town on loan, didn't you? Then after that for that first season. So how did that come about?
I kind of missed a little bit. So our route to the FA Trophy final, I played in every round, scored in a few rounds, and it was kind of like the ones that wasn't starting in the league started in the cup, and they kind of obviously rotated the squad. I remember actually, I played in every single round up until I think the final. So obviously I was gutted with that, but also I think it was because that we kind of got to a stage where I think he just wanted to put his strongest squad out, his strongest team. But then going back to the league campaign, I remember Richard Money kind of pulling about 5 of us and saying, there's only a couple of places for grabs for the playoffs. Finally, I didn't make the playoff squad, and I remember actually just sat at home watching the final against Gates, and I didn't travel. So obviously, when we got promoted, I was entering in my second year of my contract, and had a decision to make, because obviously I wanted to play. I signed there to play, and and I was at a crucial age, I felt, as well. So. I was just training in pre-season, got myself really fit, and obviously, I had conversations with the manager, and again, it was a blank canvas going into a new season. And I remember Paul Hurst ringing Richard Money on the training ground, and he just handed me the phone and said, would you like to take this conversation? And I got on the phone with the gaffer. I already knew him prior, because at the back end of his career as well, he came to Mansfield for a little bit. So I'd crossed paths with him prior to that, and then he just basically told me he liked me, he would like to bring me in on loan, and obviously location wise as well, for me to to come back up this way. It just seemed like good timing for me.
Yeah. So how does it come about? Paul Hurst ringing Richard Money that you're available. How does it become known that you're looking? Is that agents? Is it you putting the feelers out? Is it a football network, or what how does it work in reality?
Post career, when I for a few years, I kind of had a 360 view on how things work and operate at football clubs. So as a player, I was probably naive to the fact that I just thought he'd probably just rang and shown his interest, but I'm sure my name would have been circulated potentially of that, and didn't have that conversation. But Obviously at the time they was probably looking to trim the squad down. Obviously, they'd probably seen an app regularly as well. And he called and offered, to take me on loan. Also, Darryl Clark, somebody who I watched growing up at Mansfield Town. Obviously, he was the Bristol Rovers manager at the time, and my agent said, I think there was Grimsby and Bristol Rovers, and ironically, my first season at Grimsby, we'd meet in the final.
Yeah, you chose right though. Honestly, you did.
Absolutely.
But we had a really good season that first season, and like I say, as you say, you helped set up the goal for Sharp at Wembley before we went down on penalties, and then you joined us full time. So even though I'd had the disappointment, and you sort of made your loan permanent the following season, did you do that because you sensed a level of optimism about the club that you wanted to be part of, or was the deal just right, or how was that?
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed that season when I joined at Grimsby. I think I was starving just to play football and try and find some rhythm, and I actually got in pre-season, and I missed a few games at the start of that season, so that was frustrating. But then once I broke into the team and became a regular, I was loving my football. I loved the town. I loved the football club it represents. And although we didn't align that first season, I'd seen it as a real positive season. We had a really strong squad, and I think that it was really clear when the final whistle blew and we lost that game that the following season promotion was the only thing on our minds. So it was a no-brainer really to extend my stay with Grimsby the following season.
Excellent. You were an exciting player for us, and a scorer of great goals as well as a great goal scorer. We've got a good few examples of goals. Have you got any most memorable moments at Blundell Park that you can pick out?
Yeah,
I know it's a while ago. I do apologise for putting you on the spot.
No, that's okay. The one that stands out the most, and not many people probably would remember this evening, but I think it was quite fitting, just the fact that I was going through some personal issues, and it was the first game back after a bereavement, and we played, I think it was Gateshead actually, at home, and I remember scoring 2 goals. We didn't play particularly well that evening, but I think we won 2-1. I scored 2 goals, 1 at each end, and I just remember that night from my teammates. It was a really special evening for me because it was a really hard period in my life. But then to score 2 goals and for us to win that game, because I never knew how I was going to be on the night. See, coming back from a bereavement, but just thankful that the manager gave me a platform and gave me the opportunity to express myself, and it turned out to be the right decision. And I remember that being a really special time at Blundell Park for me to come back and get back into the team and score 2 goals to help us win. It's
a strange little ground. Some people love it, some people hate it. Even some people who come as away fans love it, the old traditionalists. But it is a special place at a night game, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. And I've got lots of memories at Blundell Park, and I just always felt whenever we was coming out onto the pitch, that was an advantage level of support, and especially when we got it rocking and when we was playing well. Obviously there was an area of expectation, but I thought it raised standards, and as a player, to carry that weight, and to kind of represent, the football club. Like I said, they had ambitions to get promoted. So I think that, we always stepped out with that confidence that if we could get on top of the game, then, the supporters was a huge factor in that as well.
And in terms of sort of your promotion record over those few seasons, going back to the sort of Cambridge bit, the season before with us missing out, you've done two in 3 years of promotion, haven't you, with... I think was it Alfreton the season before, and then Cambridge, and then or was it 2 Cambridge promotions? I forget. forget which way around it was.
It was, so Alfreton it was, and I got a move from Alfreton to Cambridge.
Yeah.
We'd actually played in the FA Trophy game, and at the time Alfreton was operating in the league below.
Yeah.
And we played Cambridge United and Abbey away, and I think it was a replay, and we'd won 6-3 in extra time.
Yeah.
And I'd scored. I think off the back of that they signed it, and got promotion in my first season with Alfreton, did the double with Cambridge, and then obviously got back to Wembley the first season with Grimsby, and then the second season.
And so going into that playoff, because this is the thing that really interests me about this one for you, is you've had the disappointment of the season before. How does it feel like going into the playoffs? Is there baggage, or is it all gone and parked when you go into that sort of next sort of set of semi-finals and final? Or is there a fear, oh my God, what if it happens again? How do you process that as a player? Because it's easy for fans, isn't it? Just go and win. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, I understand the question. I think, it'll be human nature, I think, to kind of been hung up on the season before, especially going down to the wire. But no, I felt like there was an air of confidence. Soon as the season had finished, we couldn't wait to get back for pre-season, and I'm not sure whether it was the bookies' favourite. Just certainly felt like, we had one thing on our minds. So when we entered the playoffs, I think we was pretty confident that if we could get a result in that first leg, then then that sets us up nicely. I think we definitely felt the pressure the year before, actually, when Braintree came and beat us 1-0.
Yeah,
gave ourselves a mountain to climb away at Braintree, and even the character that we showed that down at Braintree to come from behind to get over the line. So I feel like we was exposed to a lot of adversity, being able to come behind in games, and going into that playoff against Eastleigh, we knew that if we could get a positive result, then we've got a great chance at Blundell Park.
Come back to that in a second. The one thing that I do remember about that Braintree game, though, was getting a penalty for somebody's shirt pulling. Thank the Lord. Josh Gowling was having the shirt taken off his back, wasn't he? Yeah. He's still close with Josh. Yeah. He's still in touch, aren't you, with Josh? I think I saw online somewhere.
Yeah, so Josh is local, isn't he? Still local, but when we can, we stay in touch, and obviously he's got his coaching career, and he seems pretty busy, but I always try and stay in touch, with ex-footballers, especially when you go through experiences like that. It does bond you, and so it's really important, to remain in contact.
So you're going into that sort of semi-final with your promotion record of 2 out of 3. You want to make it 3 and 4. And within 3 minutes of kicking off, you're putting us in front away at Eastleigh. That was absolutely surreal moment. I've watched it back so many times, and again in preparation for this. That must have been a great place to start in that particular match.
It was. Not, I would say, if you rewind probably an hour before, it wasn't, because we actually turned up to the ground late. We was relaxing in the hotel, and routinely the coach driver and the kit man head off hours before to put the kit out, and then on the way back the bus driver got caught in traffic. So
it's down a weird little lane, Eastleigh, if anybody's ever been there. It's like you're in the town, and you come out of the town into like countryside, and then all of a sudden it's there, but it's narrow.
Yeah, and we was waiting with our bags at the side of the road for what seemed like forever, and we eventually got picked up, and we had to try and get the kickoff pushed back. And I remember us just rushing the warm up, and to be honest, it probably helped because we'd been down there, and we was just ready for the game. Was down there overnight at the hotel, and was obviously anticipating going into that playoff. So it probably helped the fact that we just had to get on with it, get changed, get out there, and what a great start to the game. And I felt really good. I felt really sharp. going into the playoffs, normally you're kind of feeling it fatigue-wise, and come business end of the season, it's just about staying in good condition and maintaining your fitness. But yeah, I felt really sharp that night for some reason, and I just remember us getting off to a flying start. And sometimes when that pops up on my Facebook, when it says X amount of years ago on this day, or I get tagged into something like that, then sometimes I have to pinch myself, to have scored 2 goals in a playoff semi-final.
Yeah, Bruce's Twitter on this GTFC day is a good one for popping up your memories, isn't it? I'm sure he's shared some of yours in the past. Guys, what are your memories of that Eastleigh match? Did either of you go, or did you watch on telly? I couldn't go. I watched on telly. Ross?
I was young back then.
Too young?
Younger, anyway. I was younger back then. Yeah, it's one of them games, isn't it? Back then, you think about now, which you think back now, where it's 10 years now, or nine?
Yeah, 10 years, isn't it?
Time goes a lot quicker than you think. I think, and now I think Nathan's probably looking back and think, Jesus Christ, what a career I've had, and go back to that game, and it was a good one. But I think it's an interesting bit of history that we've kind of Eastleigh in a way, because obviously you got the 2 goals then that you scored, and it's I don't know. I do like Eastleigh. I've been there myself, but I wouldn't say that's my favourite place to go.
I went to the league game there where Ollie Palmer scored. Funnily, Ollie Palmer, who scored against us yesterday, scored the winner for us in a midweek game there. Steve, what are your recollections of the match? Can you recall that game? Did you watch on telly?
Yeah, I did. I was young then as well. But,
in your 40s, yeah.
Yeah, I watched on telly. Yeah, thanks. I can remember going mad, to be honest, watching that game, and I just thought then, this is our season to go up. It's got to happen this time. And I've been so disappointed with the Bristol Rovers.
Yeah, and Nathan, you did that. You gave us that hope. So, having scored the first, to sort of have, I don't know if you call it audacity to do it again. Such a great goal. It's very rare you see 2 such brilliant goals in the same game. Must have been pretty special to do that in such an important match. Have I broke up there? Sorry, did you get any of that? Are we back?
It was going so well.
Sorry, yeah, it was. Are we back?
Time.
Just let me know when I'm back, and I'll.
Repeat what you said.
Yeah. Am I back now?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you can repeat what you
Sorry,
said.
Nathan. I was going to say you had the audacity to do it twice in that match. Is that something that you say you felt sharp? Does getting that early goal give you the confidence to say, "Yeah, I'm on it tonight"? Does that help?
Yeah, scoring so well. That I tucked it away, it just gave me real good big confidence going into the rest of the game. Any player will tell you, if you can start the game well, then it kind of sets you up. But just in general, we was going into that playoff game, but then 1 goal is very slender, and obviously when they equalised, then it was kind of in the balance again. So
not having this, I'll take matters into my own hands.
Getting that second goal was vital, because we didn't want them to kind of get hold of any kind of momentum going into that second leg.
Yeah. And so it was, and we made it to Wembley that second time, and this time it was against the Forest Green Rovers, who we've had some right ding dongs with over the years. Tough game at Wembley, but we got off to a decent first half and went in at half time 2-0 with the 2 goals from Omar, who managed to get them goals. What are your recollections of the game at Wembley? It's pretty special for Town fans, as we said earlier.
Yeah, I think it helped the fact that I'd experienced it the year before on a personal note, but prior to Bristol the year before, so for me it was the 3rd time in 2 seasons. going to Wembley, I think again, just the way that we kind of took care of business in the semis, we felt like if we could, get to anywhere, we'd have enough. It's a bit of a lottery at Wembley in the final. It comes down to one game, and we knew Forest Green, they had a decent budget. There was a team with ambition, so they wasn't just going to roll over. And I think they started the game quite well, and took us a while just to settle in. But I think once we settled down, we started to gain a little bit of control. And then those 2 goals right before half time, really close together. I think that was perfect timing to go in at half time. And I think it probably changed the team talk for them as well. Obviously they had to then go for it. They're 2 goals down in a final, and we always felt that they're going to have a spell in the game where obviously they're going to threaten, but then they're also quite vulnerable on the counter attack, because there's going to be gaps until that chance opened up. But I think one thing that I would say, the spirit of the group that both seasons, but particularly the year that we got promoted against Forest Green, is that was attack minded. We like to score goals, or at least try and create chances. And you could see even at 2-1, it would have been easy for John Nolan just to run it into the corner. I think probably 99% of the Grimsby fans behind that goal was probably pointing towards the corner flag. But it just wasn't in our nature to not try and score a goal. And I think that's the way Paul has set us up. And hopefully... And
you said, sod that, if we go to the corner flag, I'm going to do it celebrating a goal.
Yeah, but I think that kind of epitomized us. We wanted to entertain. Hopefully that season, or the 2 seasons where we were, when we went to Wembley, we always, was in exciting games, and that's what football's about. But yeah, obviously, getting that 3rd goal was just a huge relief for everybody.
I mean, as Town fans, we all want it to be 3-0 at half time, wrap up shop, and then it'd be easy. But as history will tell us, and why Steve and I are only like in our 20s, but we look like we're in our 50s, will tell you that following Grimsby Town's not always been that easy. And them getting that goal back certainly got our nerves going. And that, I think, was one of the reasons why in that last minute 3rd goal was actually the lid coming off, basically, which it was. And that from your experience of the day, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it might sound strange me saying this, but JP's is one of my closest friends. When I signed for Grimsby, we signed exactly the same time, and obviously still keep in touch now. And obviously, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy the year before. On the pitch when I rounded the goalkeeper, and often, when I see a goal, it was him that was putting that goal away. To kind of right some wrongs, but it was like I said, we just had great lads. It was a great time, and I'm just so grateful that we was able to give the supporters what they deserved.
Yep, and you certainly did, and we appreciate it and remember it well. One thing I want to ask you about is Paul Hurst brought you to the club. He's done really well for the club with getting us out the non-league twice, which was really important to Town fans. What was he like to play for, Paul? Because he's quite guarded and quite quiet from the fans' perspective, which is, I think some fans liked him, some not so much. What was he like to play for?
Yeah, he was very professional. He got us organised, got us working really hard. He kind of instilled in us what it meant to play for Grimsby Town, and obviously wanted us to represent that on the pitch. But I think we probably as players seen a different side to Paul, that obviously when he's got a camera stuck in his face straight after a game, it can be quite an emotional period, but behind the scenes and at the training ground and stuff, when he could relax, you'd seen a different side to him. He was just a really good man manager, really good person, good human, and yeah, a very good coach, very good manager. So I think we had the ingredients that year, to get promoted. But again, we had to do it the hard way. We had to do it via the playoffs again. Another strong season in terms of the teams that was in that league. I think you can't ever underestimate how difficult it is to get out of the National League.
We certainly can't. We wouldn't underestimate it by any means now. You saw the second time we got out, all the time we wasted after you got us out, getting back in there and then having to come out through the Wrexham game, if you remember. Mm-hmm. The madness of that.
Yeah.
Just want to quick ask, why did you leave town, Nathan? Because I was a bit gutted when you didn't stay on after the playoff, after the promotion season.
Yeah. Good question. I think I couldn't foresee leaving either. I think, when you get promoted and, from a personal aspect, I'd scored the third goal. Obviously, I was on cloud 9 and was back in the Football League. So the year before was quite painful before I signed for Grimsby when I was at Cambridge, because we did the double, and although got promoted to the Football League, obviously I dropped back into the conference or the National League with Grimsby on loan. So I was desperate to get back into the Football League, and obviously, I had no other being anywhere other than Grimsby. And, obviously there was negotiations to be had in the summer, and I remember having an agent at the time and going away on holiday with family, and my agent, contacted me and basically said, that basically all they could offer me was as what they put in front of me before I left. And when the negotiations was happening, I was offered a little bit more than I was on, but I felt that because we'd got back into the Football League, it didn't quite reflect or value, what it deserved. And obviously that's when, I kind of left it up to my agent to try and find a compromise with manager and the football club. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure how much was in Paul's hands. To be honest, I think there was some conversations maybe above him. His hands was probably tied because I wasn't the only one who, had to negotiate a new deal. But I remember for me, I was kind of, even if I stayed on the same money, I was pretty happy. But I think at the time, what you've got to realise is that when you go to the Football League, and obviously we're going to strengthen, we're going to bring new players in, we're going to start bringing League Two quality in. That means that you have to, you have to pay them League Two wages. So I didn't feel like it was right really for those players who maybe have contributed and helped, Town get back into the Football League, then to on more wage. So I think for me it was just, I think, and I've never been about me, and looking back on that time, like I said, I'd have probably played the following season just on the same wages. But when you've got an agent and he understands the politics of football, and he's talking about what certain players at that level would be earning versus what was offered, I had a decision to make. So it was a really tough one. Like I said, and to be honest, I think when I'd spoken to a few players who, again, was in the similar situation, I think it was kind of a surprise to them as well. And, looking at how following season bringing recruits in, obviously Omar gets his move, I think, doesn't he, early on in the season, has a really good start to the season. And I really do think that, I could have contributed season, and it was just unfortunate that it ended up the way that it did.
Yeah, I think it
and
wasn't.
like I said, I couldn't.
Wasn't untypical, I don't think, of that regime. Let's say, without saying too much more on the regime, but I think we get where you're coming from. Certainly.
Yeah, I think it was a shame. Even
Definitely.
the squad that we had, it would have been interesting to see how we would have competed, and I think all the hard work as well that the manager and obviously Doige had put in to assemble that squad, across 2 seasons, and for it to be kind of dismantled the way that it was. Like I said, I don't think there was any player. I can't speak for everybody, but the conversations that I did have, I couldn't understand why so many of us ended up leaving, apart from obviously it must have come down to a financial thing.
Yeah, and it's strange for fans because we only see one side of it. Yeah. But the more we've spoken to players on this podcast, the more you realise they're working men and they're just looking for, they've got to work out a lot of things when contracts come to an end. But back to more happier things, and we'll not stretch this too much on a Grimsby Town podcast. But the one thing we also remember is your Lincoln goal in the FA Cup against Ipswich was a cracker and a great position for you to get into, and a memorable part of your career as well.
Yeah, it was, and I think again, just going back to how things ended at Grimsby is it was quite an anxious time because, my journey up until that point, my motivation and my goal was to get back into the football. Scrap heap again in the summer, having scored at Wembley and been promoted to back, and kind of then having to find another club. And it wasn't until obviously the Cowleys rang me pretty late on in the summer actually, so I was being patient and I kind of didn't know what my next move was. Obviously I was kind of torn because it would have been the 3rd time that I was back into the National League, all over again. So it was very hard, but it was those conversations with Dan and Nick Cowley that kind of it made sense to me as to what they was trying to build and do there. And I don't think it kind of went down well at first. Obviously going to Lincoln, but as footballers, you have to, like you say, you have to earn a living. And so for me, that was the next best option. And obviously it was a fantastic season again with Lincoln. I was very fortunate to find a football and hit the ground running, and it was a fantastic time there as well. And obviously that Ipswich goal lives long in the memory too.
One other interesting Lincoln point is that Ross could easily have ended up as an imp. We're thankful that we saved him.
Yeah, could have done. I was born in Lincoln. Mariner is my granddad, so happy days.
we got him on the right side. Enough about Lincoln on a Grimsby Town podcast. We're not going to. But just blinking back and switching tack, if you might, you've done quite a bit of looking into mental health and well-being, and I know you've helped people, other players, and other people at football clubs you've been involved in. And I've sort of seen reported that you got a lot of support from the Cowleys when you were at Lincoln as well, when you were having a tough time yourself. So tell us a bit about your sort of journey in mental health and what you've done since then.
Again, when I ever talk about kind of starting my own business in 2019, I think if we kind of go back to that time when I scored at Wembley, or even against Ipswich, I would never have thought in a million years that in 18 months time that I would have chose to come away from football. I think going back to the Gateshead goal, which was the 2 Gateshead goals that I scored at Blundell Park, when I was talking about those significant moments, I think that was kind of the catalyst really. Losing my mother in 2015, which I've openly spoken about, and and life presents us with certain things, and again, I couldn't foresee my kind of life or my career going in that direction. So yeah, I think at Grimsby, because of all the success that I had in probably 3 or 4 years continuously, I had chance to grieve or to actually just sit with my emotions. So football was a great release and an escape for that. And when I was at Lincoln City, I played 52 games the following year, and I was physically, mentally, emotionally drained. And I remember just going on the breakfast show one morning, and we'd just been promoted, just won the league against Macclesfield at home, and I got invited in on the breakfast show. And I think there was obviously just talking about the celebrations and all the things on the surface, and I used that platform and some of the things that I was actually going through my personal life, and I thought it was a bit risky because I think people are more open and receptive now, but certainly at that time I ran the risk of kind of it jeopardizing my place in the team, or maybe perceived a certain way. So I was quite brave at that time to actually talk about stuff that I did, but I felt like the messages were more important, or for me to be authentic and show off was more important in that moment. And I have no regrets doing that, because off the back of the breakfast show, within 4 days, 60 people reached out on social media, on Facebook, messaged me, all talking about similar issues. And I just said to the Cowleys, I said, I've got 60 people that have reached out. These are all, Lincoln City supporters, people of our community. How can I best serve them? Could we have a function room and maybe just get them all in on one evening and just talk about, mental health itself? And they was really, really supportive of that. They got me a function room available. I was very raw. I was suffering with anxiety myself. So going on a workshop and just gathering all these people. And that was really the start of it. From there, I felt like I wanted to kind of stay close to the mental health and well-being kind of field. And, it was in schools in and around Lincolnshire, doing assemblies to students, and then just open up about some really important things. And then from there, it almost seemed like the world as such kind of opened up as well. Around that time of talking about it, more celebrities, more sports people come out, and I just felt like it was perfect timing, and it kind of caught wind and gathered momentum naturally. So like I said, it wasn't planned, but it was just something that kind of took me in a different direction.
Meant to be. Yeah, and I think, it's easy to underestimate the power of somebody like yourself coming out and speaking out, because it then makes people realise that it is okay to talk about it. And that's one of the things that we've not done something on it every episode, but we've certainly featured things that have gone on at other football clubs that are notable, or and mentioned our own struggles. We've all had our moments, and it's not easy to talk, particularly as us men, because we're so rubbish at it. And I think anybody who considers themselves in a bit of a spot, the longer you wait to ask for help, is just unnecessary suffering. Now I look at it from the other side. What sort of advice would you offer to people that are really feeling in a bit of a hole and they don't know where to turn? What would you suggest people do?
Yeah, I think just stay connected to people. I think my advice years ago, naively probably going into this line of work, was just talk to somebody, but we all know it's not that easy, it's not that simple. So but I do think, and something that really helped me and still helps me now, is stay connected with people, just to send a message, or just to try and reach out to people that you feel safe or close to. And it doesn't always have to be so heavy loaded in terms of the material and the nature of those messages, but I think just human connection on the whole, especially with the way that the world is now, media and you can kind of stay connected through your social platforms, but actually meeting up in person, I struggle with that in terms of a social life, just because of the kind of tempo that I'm living by with my business. I've got another side job as well, and also being a father, so I'm really stretched and pulled in different directions. So having that connection's not always easy, but just to try and remain connected to people, try and avoid and just just try and stay resilient. It's something that is like I said, spoken about more and more. That isn't the solution, but it's
important to look out for your mates as well if they go quiet, for example, isn't it? And reaching out to them as well to say, "You all right, mate?" And maybe again, "Are you really all right?" If you notice a difference.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I recently did, thanks to Christine and the foundation at Grimsby, I wanted to give back to the football club in some way, and we've just finished a mental health project, Beyond the Pitch it was called, and that was accessible for supporters or people in the community. And we was often talking about in those sessions how football is a release for fans as well, supporters. You go to a game, you've been at work all week, you've got that pent up anger or frustration or whatever it might be, and you project that out in whether that's elation and joy or whether that's frustration of a loss. And but don't ever underestimate as well the power of football. And that Saturday afternoon, it's that in itself, to have that sense of belonging, that's what's really special.
I agree with that. Although
as well,
there are times I've been into Blundell Park feeling really happy and come out feeling really pissed off. That's football for you. It's not all one way.
And vice versa.
No, I agree.
And the other way around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Steve's seen me cussing at the away team, celebrating in front of their fans. It doesn't go down well. And if you've ever seen it, if you ever watch any of Ross's match reviews, you know how it can affect us. But it's because we care. It's because we care. Nathan, we're about out of time. Guys, have you got any other questions for Nathan before we finish?
So mental health itself, I'm going through it now. Still going through it. I've got counselling at the minute that I'm having. When you speak about obviously going to football games and it kind of takes your mind off it, and you go to another place, it was bang on. So from about June, July, I'd say, was before Bonfire. That was the first time I've been out, other than going to Grimsby games. So I actually isolated myself inside. Didn't really speak to anyone. If I did, it was out on messages and stuff like that. But actually in person, no, I wouldn't want to go out. I'd go to the bin, maybe put the bins out, and then come back straight back in. Go to Grimsby games, home or away, depending on what I had. Would you say your anxiety got better as you've now opened up and gone to places to talk about it, to schools and etc., etc.? Do you think that's eased now from what it used to be?
Yeah, I would say 100% as time's gone on, and once I've started to understand my childhood, because that kind of was the root cause. It stemmed from there. Before, it was something that was stressful and that triggered it, but I went to counselling and therapy myself all those years ago and kind of been on that journey. So yeah, 100%. Lockdown didn't help. I know a lot of people who's, the aftermath of that, how they've been struggling, even again with social connection, social anxiety. And one good thing is with Grimsby, there's a commonality, isn't it? You go to a game, you've all got kind of something in common, and that really helps, again, that sense of belonging, that connection. First and foremost, sorry that you're experiencing that, but well done for speaking about it and obviously doing something about counselling. But yeah, for sure, I think the anxiety, that kind of I had that kind of, like I said, that release as a player. Once I stopped playing, obviously I had to find that release in other ways. and that was tough because it's almost like you're institutionalized. You know, I've spoke to people who's in the army, and you get told what to do, when to do it, what, you know, and then you come out and you've got to set your own goals. You've got to find that intrinsic motivation. You know, the motivation for me used to be, well, I'm going to be right side of my opponent on the Saturday, so I'm going to do that extra rep, or I'm going to, you know, work that little bit harder in training. And there was always a motivation there. But obviously, once you remove your Saturdays as a player, it's finding motivation in other ways, and that's tough. But yeah, I think what I would say is it's not uncommon. I think probably 90% of the clients that I've worked with have all experienced anxiety of some sort. You know, yeah, it seems like you know you've made the right decisions. You're in the right place and the right hands. So yeah, hopefully you're feeling better soon.
If you get the right support and you find it's not going away, you might.
I'm
Sorry, mate. Go on.
Yeah. Like I say, yeah, you know, it's all right. Yeah, you know, getting used to it. I think some people don't realise how bad it can be. Like even going out for a walk, just out and about. Sometimes that's even tough for me, let alone other people that might obviously be suffering. And I think it's your own head, your mind takes you places, and voices in your head are saying stuff like, you know, what you think, what they think to you, and you're not good enough and stuff like that. And I think that kind of piles on top of you. And it is easing now, but yeah, I think no one really talks about it. Men are awful for it.
Yeah.
You know, we just bottle it up until we explode, and then you know now there's a problem. But you know that problem could have been going on for years and years and years, and no one would know about it. But yeah, no, it's definitely a topic to get brought up a lot more.
Yeah, and that's why we're keen to talk about it.
Yeah, and thank you for using this platform to you know, shine a light on that. And you know, it's really important. And again, you know, the Beyond the Pitch projects that I was running with Christine and the foundation, you know, great opportunity for people to come together within the community and connect in that way. And you know, it's not always about, you know, delving into the, like I said, even just connecting and having a conversation, you know, sometimes is enough for people. And I think the community has been lost over the years, you know, from probably how things used to be when we was growing up to how it is now. You know, the world's unsafe and unpredictable, and COVID and lockdown as well. You know, there's been a bit of a rupture within you know, our social world.
I think that's right. So we're trying to break through that with the podcast, and hopefully we can do that. Ross has met us through this. We didn't know each other before doing this content creation thing. So that's been a bit of positivity. Another couple of mates to take the mickey out of you, or to give us a bit back, and certainly somebody to reach out to if you're feeling a bit down.
We'll talk to you all day, Rossi, about football.
Yeah.
No, but
the problem is, Nathan, we go, oh, can you remember 1979 when we won the title? And he goes, oh, born then.
Oh, born, yeah.
And we go, oh, yeah, we used to like you, Ross, but we're going off you. But nonetheless, Nathan, we'll leave it there. I'm under pressure now to finish, so I'll leave it for
thank
the guys to thank you as well, as long as me. But yeah, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite. It's a pleasure.
And we look forward to seeing you at Blundell Park sometime in the future.
Yeah, I'll be there this season at some point for sure.
Good. We look forward to it.
Coming on, Nathan. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
And nice. I really, really enjoyed watching you play as a footballer as well.
Thank you.
We did.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks for all your support.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. And we'll leave it there. Right. Any other business?
I just hope my mate Rogers is playing Thursday night.
Oh.
Man on the match Saturday, I thought.
Well, you'll be happy to put him as your first goal scorer then.
I don't say the score, but he'll be the first name on the sheet.
I don't know. Still think he could have done better in the first goal they scored.
Oh, I do that. But after that, he was.
After that, yeah, he did put his shift in.
And I did share his rangy pass from Chesterfield. I did share his rangy pass from Chesterfield with Ross yesterday, Steve, as well. Last week, I mean.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah. No, that's it. I can't think of anything else.
Well, it's been fun.
Yeah.
So for better technicals next time.
I did have a note here. Which game was it? It must have been Chesterfield's game. Dunkley gave the penalty away.
Oh, yes, I saw that, yeah.
Right, blooming long Peters.
Right. Yeah, he's just a...
and he got booked.
I switched the car on today to nip down to the shops, and last episode came on, and we were talking about Dunkley. We're saying, he was awful. He was terrible. He
got
early yellow, and then shouldn't have been on, should he?
He got taken off, didn't he? He got a yellow card, and then he got he's their captain. I don't think I realised that.
No.
Bloody hell.
Didn't look like one.
Great captain.
Anyway.
No.
On that bombshell, we'll say after quite a tumultuous episode with all the higgles and glitches, hopefully edited out.
That's easy for you to say.
The Mariners!
The Mariners.
Well done. Well, that's a wrap for this week's Three Fish on This Shirt, your ultimate Grimsby Town podcast. Thanks for tuning in and being part of our community, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcast, through Amazon, Audible, Spotify, iHeartRadio or Podchaser, or anywhere else you get your podcasts from. If you're loving what we're doing and want more match analyses, in-depth discussions, exclusive interviews, then just hit subscribe. It's completely free and it helps us grow to bring you even better content, and it keeps that Mariners conversation alive. If you want to listen on the go, just ask your smart speaker to search for Three Fish on the Shirt, Grimsby Town Podcast, or find us at any of the podcast locations we've already mentioned. Drop a comment, leave a review, and share the pod with fellow Mariners, because football's always better when we talk about it together. Until next time, up the Mariners!
person that's